Hi, I'm Chef Steve. Welcome to the Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness. This program is brought to you by Comfort Care and At Your Side, and Comfort Care and At Your Side provides personal care for people throughout the United States and Canada. I'm here with our program Care Kitchen every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, bringing you lots of great information, recipes from the Care Kitchen cookbook, and just having some fun and talking about how we can engage with people that we're caring for through the use of cooking and how cooking brings back great memories and we could just have lots of fun. Today, we're going to do a very simple preparation that's using the slow cooker. And I've got a crock pot here. It's a small crock pot, 2.5 quart. This is perfect for making several servings of whatever it is that you like. And these things are really great because you set it and forget it, basically. And the recipe we're going to do is in the Care Kitchen cookbook. It's the pork with gravy recipe. And we're going to get started with that in just a second. We've got all of our ingredients out here, and we're going to get started putting it together. So, this is one of those great recipes to me that always comes out great. It's so simple. It uses things that you kind of have around in the pantry, and it utilizes a great protein, which is pork. So I've got our nice boneless pork cutlets here, and these are it's a great source of protein. It's also, full of minerals and vitamins, potassium, all the things that you need. So we're going to cook these now in a slow cooker, and we're going to get this started, and I'm going to show you this. And then we're going to make some sides to go with it. We're going to make some homemade mashed potatoes, and we're going to make a carrot recipe today. This carrot recipe is called Carrots Paysan, and it's really delicious. Goes really well with this pork recipe, and we're going to get started. So let's get this going. Okay, so let's get our slow cooked pork and gravy going. I've got a couple of cans of soup here. This recipe calls for cream of mushroom soup and golden mushroom soup. So let's get these cans open, and we're going to mix these up right in this bowl with the rest of our ingredients. We'll get this going. I like to use a rubber spatula so that I get everything out and using all of my ingredients. And that's, of course, what we want to do. We want to utilize as much food as possible. The other element about using pork is one of those proteins that is very lean, but it's also very affordable. There's lots of things that you can do with pork. It's extremely versatile and comes in many forms, of course, bacon being a very, very popular form. So let's continue here, getting our ingredients together. And this one is the golden mushroom. So we've got the cream of mushroom and the golden mushroom in our bowl to mix up. The other thing that we need in here is a half a cup of milk. Got some milk right here, and we've got our cup measures right here. Okay, let's get that in. Okay, and there's our milk. Okay, and a couple more ingredients. A little garlic powder and some Worcestershire, about a teaspoon. Okay, that is everything. So we're going to mix this up, get everything blended, and then we're going to get it in our slow cooker. Now, this recipe calls for 5 hours on high on your slow cooker or 8 hours on low. So depending on your timing and when you want to have it done. And we're going to get this going. Okay, that's that. Okay, so we're going to take our crock out of the crock pot. We're going to lay our pork right in there, right in the bottom. So we just have our pork right in the bottom. And we're going to take this mix and put it right over the top of the pork. And believe it or not, that is it. That is the recipe. And we're going to get that. So you see, it's just very simple. We're going to get that in our crock pot, and I'm going to get that crock pot going. And then, so while we're doing that, we're going to prepare our other dishes. We're going to make some mashed potatoes from scratch, and we're going to make this great carrot dish. So I'm going to get this going on the crock pot, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we've got our pork and gravy cooking in the slow cooker in the crock pot, and now we're going to make some carrots and some homemade mashed potatoes. So I'm going to get started first, get our carrots on. It's very simple. Now, I bought these carrots from the store and they're already cut. So this is one way to save time. And it was actually surprisingly affordable, really, because I don't have the waste. I also don't have to spend that time. Now, that doesn't go to say that you can't peel carrots. Certainly do that. And, you know, if you want to, but you don't have to. And this is one of the ways that we can save time so that we can really spend that time engaging with the person that we're cooking for or cooking with, or whether maybe it's your family, you know, so that you can have some more time. This is one of the time-saving things you can do. Okay, so this dish is very simple. I've got a pot here. I've got a little bit of water in it. I'm going to put my carrots in, and I'm going to put a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to put some salt in there, a little bit of salt, a couple twists of pepper. Now, basically, there's only enough water in there, so this is sort of steaming. And we're going to put a little bit of sugar in, about a teaspoon, just to enhance the sweetness. Carrots are naturally sweet anyway, but that kind of enhances and brings the sweetness out. Okay, so then what we want to do with this is we want to get this on the stove, covered, and we're going to bring that up to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down and just sort of let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Okay, in the meantime, let's get our potatoes going. Okay. So I've got 2 potatoes here. I've got some water in this pot ready to go. I am going to peel these. Now, I like to use a knife, but certainly you can use a vegetable peeler. I like to do this. I kind of got used to doing this, and I enjoy doing it this way. Sometimes I'm better than others in terms of getting as much of the potato as possible, and it is one way to do it. But this is, you know, I remember seeing my grandmother peel potatoes like this many years ago, and was always amazed to watch her do it because she was so efficient and had very little of the potato left in the peel. So she was very good at sort of controlling the knife so that she was just getting the peel and not getting a lot of the potato, because obviously that's the part we want. So again, you know, this is something you can do. You don't have to do it. You can use a regular vegetable peeler for this as well. I like to do it this way, and I think it's a little bit more fun. Okay, so then once I have it peeled, I'm just going to cut it up a little bit, and basically I'm cutting it up so that it kind of cooks quickly and everything gets cooked at the same rate of speed, and that's the whole thing with size of whatever it is that you're cooking. So let's get this in our water, and we'll do our other potato, and just doing 2 potatoes because, you know, truly when you're cooking for older adults, the appetite is diminished, and that's usually typical. But we want to make sure that that person is getting enough nutrition in the food they're eating. So that's one of the reasons why we always need to think about density of the nutrition that we're serving, because we want to be able to serve a normal size portion or a smaller portion, but still be able to get enough nutrition out of the food. So this is where the choice of food becomes very important, as well as preparation style. But it doesn't mean to say that we can't take some shortcuts and do some things to save time. And, some of these convenience recipes, like the one we're doing with the pork and a couple of cans of soup, very simple. You put it on, you forget it, and it comes out amazingly. And I'll show you that, because I do have the finished product. I made one yesterday, and I kept it in the refrigerator, and I have it in a container here. So I'm going to show you that, and we're going to plate it up, and we're going to taste it. So let's get these potatoes going, and we'll take it from there. Okay, got all our potatoes cut in the pot. And we have our carrots are cooking up here, so we're going to turn those down. Get this down here, get this over here, and we're in good shape. Okay, so I am going to let these potatoes cook a little bit, and I'm going to clean up here a little bit, and then I'll be right back, and we'll finish up our potatoes and carrots, and I'll show you this great finished pork and gravy recipe, and we'll plate it up and taste it. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so now we're back, and I've got my potatoes all cooked. I poured off the water. I've got potatoes sitting in the pot, ready to go for my mashed potatoes. We have our carrot dish all cooked here, ready to go. And we've got, as I told you, I cooked the pork meal that we've got in the slow cooker now. I did one yesterday, and I left it overnight in this container right here, and I've just heated this up in the microwave. So we're ready to go there. What I'm going to do now is finish our mashed potatoes up. So we're going to put some butter in. We're going to put some salt. And I don't know about you, but homemade mashed potatoes, that's a real favorite. I think that's a favorite with anyone. Probably everybody remembers making them too. A lot of people have different ways of making them. This is really, to me, a pretty standard recipe for mashed potatoes. And of course, you can do anything you like with these. Some people put sour cream in them. Some people put heavy cream. Various things. Put garlic in them. You can do anything you want. I've got a little milk here. I'm going to put a little milk in, and we'll see where we're at. This is a nice little gadget, little potato masher. I'm sure you've seen these before. Very handy thing if you're making mashed potatoes or any kind of really a mashed dish. Now, one of the things that some people like to do, and this is something to really keep the carbs down, because, potatoes can be a little high in carb, and if you're on a low sugar diet, one of the things you can do is cook some cauliflower and mix that in with potatoes so it cuts the carb down. That's one thing some people enjoy. Of course, potatoes are very nutritious. They have lots of fiber in them. They have lots of minerals and vitamins, so it's a very good thing to eat. And of course, mixing it up and having a lot of variety in the diet, that's the key. That's the key. But this is also just a fun thing to do as an activity, with that person that you're caring for. Make some mashed potatoes. Maybe they want to help put some of the ingredients in. So I've got those pretty well mashed up. Now what we've got to do is give it a taste to see if we've got our salt and pepper in the right amounts. And we do. Could use just a little bit more milk in here. It's a little bit, like to have it a little bit looser. And this, again, of course, is all preference. Whatever it is that your client or you or your family member enjoys. So I'm going to just mix in a little more of the milk, and then we'll have our potatoes ready to go. I think we'll put just a little bit more butter in to give it a little more richness. There's nothing like better than that. Nice mashed potato with butter. It's so delicious. And that butter is almost incorporated and melted in. And we've got our potatoes. Okay, potatoes are ready to go. Let's give it another little taste. Got a fresh spoon here each time we go in. Tastes great. Okay, so now we've got our carrots done as well. And the carrots, very simple recipe I showed you. I will post the recipe called Carrots Paysan. So we've got those hot and ready to go. And we've got our pork and gravy ready to go right here in our container. And that's hot and ready. Okay, so now I am going to plate. Take a plate. Go into our pork container here and grab one of our medallions. Put it right on the plate there. Okay. Now that looks really, really nice. Okay, let's get some potatoes onto the plate. I've got a scoop, and that way it's sort of portion controlled, and it kind of looks nice. Okay, then we've got our potatoes there. Now we've got our Carrots Paysan. Nice cooked carrot dish. And I'm using a slotted spoon on this so I don't get a lot of extra liquid into the plate. I don't want the extra water in there. Okay, well, we've got that set. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon some of this good gravy that's in here that got cooked in the slow cooker. A little bit more on our pork. And I like a little bit on the mashed potatoes. Just put a little gravy on there. And make sure the rim of our plate is nice and clean. Last thing, we're going to garnish and also add a little more nutrition with some fresh chopped parsley. So I'm going to put that basically over everything. And it looks really, really nice and nutritious. And there is our pork with mashed potatoes and carrots. And this is the pork with gravy recipe in the Care Kitchen cookbook. This is slow cooked. That looks marvelous. And I've got to taste it. Okay, let's see what it tastes like and how it cuts. Look at that. Beautiful thing. Cuts perfectly with the fork, nice and tender. Got a piece of the pork. Let's get a little bit of everything on this fork if I can. That so delicious. When you slow cook that pork, it's really tender. I mean, you see how tender it is. It just falls apart with the fork. Very, very delicious. Well, I am going to enjoy this meal for my lunch today. And, you know, I just want to remind you, this program is brought to you by Comfort Care and At Your Side. And I'm here in the Care Kitchen where we cook with kindness every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And all of the programs are also on the Comfort Care At Your Side YouTube channel. You can see all of the video episodes that we've got. They're all marked and go by topic, and you'll see what they are. So I hope that you'll also tune in there. It's a pleasure being with you again. I'm going to enjoy this great meal. I hope that you'll do some cooking and have some fun. And remember, the most important ingredient is kindness here in the Care Kitchen. I'm Chef Steve, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for spending time with me today. I'll see you again soon. Thanks.